Man, I wish carrots were alive. Close enough. Pikmin is a game where you play as this dumb fucker who crash landed on Earth and his ship broke. So you use these disgusting things to get his ship parts back so he can go home. I feel like I should have more to say about this game than I do, but that's kind of the main way to describe it. It's basically resource management, but instead of managing resources, they are living things. Actually, on second thought, I don't know how alive they are. I don't know if there's much going on behind those eyes. And also, there's things in the universe called pick carrots that I think are Pikmin, but I don't actually know if they are, so the intro to this video might be completely irrelevant. I played Pikmin 1 and 2 recently as a part of my backlog on stream, and I played the Switch release of it, and I don't know if there's anything notable to say about them. I think they are the Wii versions, but just remapped for Switch. I have a bit of a weird thought process when it comes to Pikmin. I like the games, and I've seen a lot of it pop up recently. Obviously, the fan base has only grown, but with the amount of new people, I've also seen a big divide of people who think Pikmin 4 is the hottest shit ever, and people who think it's the stinkiest shit ever. They want to take that fucking dog out back and shoot it. But I can't really comment on that as I've only played the first two, and the glaze for Pikmin 2 is unreal, but we'll get to that. I think I've got some things to say, but I do have a Dandori skill issue. But playing the first two, I like it. I like the art style. I think it's very charming, but it's very different to anything else I've ever played or that's on the market, kind of. I feel like it doesn't really fit into any category. It's not a platformer, it's not a card game, it's not an RPG, it's not like a 3D, it's 3D, but it's not like a 3D platformer, or like it's not could it be a collectathon? I feel like that doesn't really count, because that includes like Banjo. But let's talk about Pikmin 1 kind of a bit more specifically, so I'm not just rambling about nothing. You have 30 in-game days, and there are 30 pieces of the ship part available, which means you could kind of go pretty slow, but it means if you miss one for a day and you spend a day opening paths or something, you gotta hurry up the pace. Your main way of interacting with the environment is by throwing the Pikmin. There's enemies scattered around that exploit the various weaknesses and strengths of the 3 Pikmin types you have, but you kind of have to throw your Pikmin at them and they chip it away, and then you can carry anything you pick up with your Pikmin to the onion, which spawns more Pikmin. And then you might find a ship part where you need to put a bunch of Pikmin on it, and then they'll carry it to the ship, and then boom, you have one of the pieces. You don't need all of them to beat Pikmin 1, but if you don't get all of them, what are you doing? The game has 5 areas, and there are 3 Pikmin types, like I said. The red Pikmin are kind of the base Pikmin, and they are immune to fire. The yellow Pikmin they reach higher places, and in Pikmin 2 they're immune to electricity, and the blue Pikmin are able to come with you through water and do things in the water where the other 2 will drown. There are a few tough bosses scattered around, but overall, the game is a relatively chill experience with not too many crazy intense moments. Kind of like this video. So if you're enjoying this kind of chill format style of video, give me a subscribe and a like, and give me a comment and tell me if you're liking it down below. I stream very often, so if you want to see me go through my backlog of a variety of games, feel free to stop by. But I just want to finish my talk on Pikmin 1 by discussing the final area. The final area is pretty cool. It has a secret kind of area. It has a secret area that you unlock, and it's kind of like a big trial of all your Pikmin knowledge, and at the end you fight a big old Bulborb, and that's Pikmin. Okay, now the second one that has Big Chungus and the Pikmin version of Fugu. See, this game only has 4 areas as opposed to the last game's 5. However, it fleshes out its areas with the new cave system. Whereas in the overworld, you can kill enemies and pick up objects to fulfill and replenish your amount of Pikmin. In this game, when you go into caves, you can only bring 100 Pikmin max. The Pikmin that you have on you must stay with you in the cave, and you cannot replenish them throughout the cave. The game runs on a very different basis. As opposed to collecting 30 pieces of treasure, it still has the day timer, but it's not like a countdown. You're just collecting treasures from the world to pay off the debt that Olimar's boss has collected. There are now 2 captains instead of 1, blue and red, and you can swap between them and command different Pikmin armies between them both, but this mechanic I rarely used because I did seem to catch myself very often playing this like it was Pikmin 1, which is a problem that I'll get to later. It also added 2 types of Pikmin, the purple Pikmin that are big and strong and equivalent to 10 Pikmin when you're carrying, I don't even know if equivalate's a word, and the white Pikmin that are small, fast, and poisonous to any enemies that consume them. These are exclusive to the underground, and the underground itself is very expansive. Every map has a couple caves in that have many floors. Some of them even go to 15 floors when you get to the final map. And these caves are the big decision point for many. Many love them, they love the challenge, but many are like me and have a skill issue where you aren't used to not being able to replenish your Pikmin, and you definitely have to adapt, which is something I very much struggled with in this game. I was taking Pikmin with me and I was losing them very quickly and not being able to replenish them, and it did leave a bad taste in my mouth. I feel like Pikmin 2 is definitely an acquired taste, and I think a lot of people can agree on that. The first playthrough is pretty rough, and as you learn the game throughout multiple playthroughs, that's where the love comes. But as someone who doesn't tend to replay games, Pikmin 2 did feel a bit mean, but of course that is looking at it through a modern lens, and I can acknowledge that despite having my gripes about the difficulty of the game, I can also be well aware and say that it is my fault for not following the game's mechanics and not utilizing the dual captains or being as effective as I should be or changing my play style based on the caves. I'm very stubborn, and that definitely led to some trials, so unfortunately I can't say that I prefer Pikmin 2 to Pikmin 1, and I do prefer Pikmin 1's more chill kind of style, more simple approach, but I understand why Pikmin 2 took the leaps it did and made itself bigger and better and harder, which is exactly what the ladies want. I feel like there was a lot of negativity towards Pikmin 2, so I would like to give some praise, which does of course also apply to Pikmin 1. The art style is very unique, and I said I liked it at the start, but I think it is still quite interesting to look at. I find it quite funny how, because they wanted to make it seem like these characters were so small compared to the real world, a lot of the floors and kind of backgrounds tended to just be really close-up images of things in the real world, or at least that's how it appears to me. But I find that quite funny because where they're close up, they are pretty damn low resolution, and it's quite jarring seeing the contrast between the models and the pixelated floors. But I will say that issue is definitely more prevalent in Pikmin 1 than Pikmin 2, because Pikmin 2's got some crazy nice environments. I love the snow level, and I think some of the caves have some really nice looking areas. I love the metal areas, I really like them. But I think this could just be a re-release symptom, which I think is something that Scott the Woz said very well in one of his videos about emulation. I believe that a lot of the games that get re-released or are emulated on new consoles, they can feel a bit weird and a bit odd, so I am definitely eager to pick up some physical GameCube copies of these games and try them on original hardware, and who knows, maybe Pikmin 2 will click for me more on the GameCube. I'm very briefly going to talk about the post-game of Pikmin 2 like I did Pikmin 1, where the 4th area has Louis taken. You are now controlling Olimar and the boss, Chucho, and has some stupid long, horribly hard cave gauntlets that I did end up skipping because I was a little piss baby and I just wanted to get the credit roll. Final boss is cool though. I like that it's all elemental and you got to use your different Pikmin well. But I can definitely say that a lot of my gripes with Pikmin 2 will probably be solved if I ever do replay it with a bit more focus. And I would also like to highlight that Louis is very worthless. This guy's whole life is worth less than some filament. Overall, I think Pikmin 1 and 2 hold up very well. They're still fun, they're still enjoyable today. As much as I think they probably don't work the best on current platforms, and control-wise, I forgot to mention that the cursor is real weird to control. I'm not too keen on that. The game is definitely worth giving a shot if you haven't, and if you're watching this and you haven't played Pikmin, you can buy it, or you can see my whole playthrough in the description. But I just wanted to have a little reflection and a bit of talk about the kind of mechanics and how the game or games are. And, you know, that's how I feel as a modern, new 2025 Pikmin fan who has played 2 games.